All right. Perfect. All right. So today we're going to go over business modeling, and it was one of the requests coming from Jason. So I'm just going to kind of break this down, big bird style, so you can kind of get an overview. I think everyone here is business savvy, so this is going to definitely make sense. If you've heard of the business model canvas before, great. You know, I'm going to give you like a little twist and a little update to it as well. So starting off right off the bat is the value proposition. Now, you've heard the value proposition probably a million times, but value proposition essentially is just a promise that you're going to deliver to your clients. So I think the last time I was on this particular chapter, we did Facebook Insight, and that kind of goes hand in hand with this presentation. Obviously, if you're looking for a target audience, you want to know what are you going to be delivering to them, and you got to have that value to be able to deliver to them. So that's the first thing. You need to have a value proposition for your company, for your brand, for whoever you're going to be talking to, so they understand what they're going to get from you. Second to that would be the unfair advantage. So an unfair advantage could be a trademark. It can be something that your clients cannot copy or replicate. It can be a system that you've created or developed. It can be software. So having an unfair advantage inside of your growth strategy is going to be key, because again, if somebody can't copy it, then it leads you to have more value than your competitors. Three would be your customer segments and relationships. So obviously, you're talking about building customer relationships, not necessarily friendships, but ideally, people want to work with people that they like. So in the customer segmentation, you need to figure out whether it's going to be a point of sale, if it's going to be B2B or B2C. So B2B is business to business, B2C is business to consumer. And it really varies based upon what you're selling or what you're promoting, whether it's a physical product or it's an actual service at hand. So you need to understand and figure out what is your customer segments and your relationships, in addition to what value you're going to deliver to them and what's your unfair advantage in that market sector. Number four is channels. So this is where it's my favorite one out of all 12 of them, because again, I'm a marketer and I'm a growth strategist. So when you're talking about channels, you're talking about the opportunity to communicate with that community of individuals, your target audience, and you get to deliver that value. So the channels could be books, it can be YouTube, it can be over the phone. So ideally, you need to kind of come up with a list of the way you communicate with your clients right now and figure out where are you converting them. Are you converting them on the phone? Are you converting them through YouTube? Are you converting them through sale flyers? I mean, God forbid you're using maybe fax. Are you converting them through fax? So you want to figure out your channels of communication, figure out which ones are working for you, and then grow that particular channel. That's part of the growth strategy, is figuring out what channel you're communicating with and what channel is actually converting. Next would be the customer challenges, which obviously everyone on this group, we are trying to solve problems for our customers. So if you could identify in a sentence what that customer challenge is, and then what your value proposition associated to that problem is, then you'll be able to move into number 6, which is the solution. So a lot of times we will just throw up and say, okay, we do this, we do that, we do this, we do that. But you're talking to a person that may not need all those services. So the first thing that you need to do is figure out, what kind of relationship do you have? What kind of questions are you asking them? What kind of problems are they telling you that they have? And then applying the actual solution based upon the services that you have. And then you can grow from there. You could apply other solutions as time continues and goes on. Number 7 is the key activities. So, we talked about the first 6 things, which is just kind of like the first half. So the second half, right, we're talking about key activities. So what are you doing on your channels? Are you creating content? Are you creating video? Are you a podcaster? Are you sending out flyers? Like, what do you do on a day-to-day basis that you have to do to maintain your client customers, right? So you have to maintain these key activities. What systems do you have behind the scenes? How could you cut down the time? How could you cut down the cost? How do you devise a system that can maintain your key activities for you routinely without you suffering for the time management aspect of it? The key resources, right, goes hand in hand with the key activities. So what key resources do you have? A key resource could essentially be an employee. It can be a VA. It can be a PA. It can be an assistant. It could be software. It could be automation. All these key resources could then help you finish and activate your key activities. Number 9 is your key partners, right? So key partners, essentially, like if you're into an affiliate offer and you're not sure what an affiliate offer is, you've probably seen them a million times. If I have a service and I'm selling that service for $100, and then I have other people that sell similar services, but they don't sell my service, then I can give them a portion of my sales. That's what we're talking about as far as partnerships, key partners, people that have services that you may not have access to, that way you can fill that void and help give more value to your customers through utilizing this key partnership. That's a great way to scale. You don't have to do anything but say, yes, we can do it. And then you take that and outsource it to that key partner. So that's something that if you don't have access to right now, then you want to kind of put on the bandwagon, because that's going to help you infinitely grow very quickly. Number 10 is cost structure. Now, making like a itemized list of costs. Now, some people may have overhead, which is like the lights, the utilities, the mortgage, and so forth. Some of the people may have employees. Some people may have software, but understanding where's your cost at, like every single month, starting at the month level, what is your cost evaluation? How much money are you spending per month on what you're doing to maintain the value to deliver your product to that client? Then number 11 would be the revenue stream. How much money are you taking in per month, right? So to say if you're spending $100 per month on whatever your cost is, but you're making $200 per month, well, that's not a bad bargain, right? For every $100 you put in, you're making another $100 back. So you just want to figure out these variables. If you're putting out 100 and you're making 100 and you're breaking even every single month, then obviously you need to verify and figure out like where your hurdles at. If you're spending too much on the maintenance side, how do you create systems to cut down on that maintenance? Do you put some money up front to create a system that later on is going to be able to cut back on that monthly cost? 12 is in the overall vision, right? The overall goal is a combination of your vision and your goal. So taking these two different elements and figuring out that, okay, I have clients, I want to deliver value, I have a service, I want to charge price for it, I want to make monetary gains. Well, that's part of your vision, but your goal is I want to make $1 million. So you would take all these different 12 elements and you want to figure out where do you have holes. If you have holes on your communication channels, well, that's where then you need to focus on. If you have holes on your key activities, then you need to focus on that. If you have holes with your key partnerships, then you need to figure out and start building that out. The goal is if you get all 12 of these systematically working for you, then you're at the point to where you can scale, and then you have a system that's, that's something that you can repeat over and over again to get more money in a lot quicker. All right, so that's like the general of the 12. So visually, what does that look like? So if you've never seen the canvas before, this is what it looks like. It's very similar to a business plan, but it's simple in the sense that it's one page. You would take this document and you would fill in all these boxes with the information that we just went over. And then you would look at it from a bird's eye view and say, okay, I have everything except for my key partners. So now okay, I have 11 out of the 12, then you could focus more so on finding key partners. Well, then you already know what your key activities are. You already know what your key resources are. You already know what your customer segments are, and you already know your value proposition. So now what you can do is add on additional value by finding the right partners to fill in that void. And then you can put your focus and attention into that area versus just juggling randomly trying to figure things out. So this document, I'm going to give you guys access to this document as well. And also inside this document, there's a full YouTube video with a 45-minute presentation of this. There's a PDF of this particular document that you can download and print and start filling it out. And then I'm going to show you like a user case, like how I use this system in my business with my consultancy. I'll show you that now. All right, so actually it's this one. So when I get a new client and I'm onboarding them, there's a whole system set up. They'll get an email, they'll get a confirmation, and in part of that email confirmation, they'll get this intake form. So there is regular information, they're filling out the form, all the basic information that I need to help them, and then they go into the business model canvas. I have explainer videos in here. I have the value proposition broken down so they can comprehend it very simply. I have several different questions to ask them about their value. I have several questions about, okay, your unfair advantage. So by the time I get this document, I already know like what they're missing, like what hurdles do they have, how to overcome it. And then I can say, okay, well, based upon your answers, you're missing 3 of the 12. Let's focus on these 3 to kind of build and help you move forward. So that way you have a new system that's going to yield you more money in the long term. All right, let me show you this other screen and then we'll go into closing. All right, so in addition to this document, there's also a checklist. So the checklist is just very visual to say, okay, you have the grid, you can fill it out, but points, right? So think of this as a full 360. Right? So if you have 360, then it's a complete circle. So the goal would be to kind of go through and fill out and see what you're missing and just do a quick checklist and see, okay, well, I'm at 270 out of 360, then I need to work on these other 3 elements to get the other 90. So that's it. So again, going back to what Brian was saying, obviously feedback is always granted, and it'll help me to kind of figure out what other information that I would be able to present in this particular presentation. So if you don't mind scanning this QR code and giving me some feedback, that would be great. And do you have any questions?
Open forum. So if anyone has any questions, go right ahead and ask. I guess I have a question for you in terms of unfair advantage. So you mentioned unfair advantage, things like trademarks, things like that. So how do we go about finding out what our unfair advantage is if we don't know what it is?
Good way to start is to look at your competitors, right? Look at your prime example. I could look at a competitor, and if they have software that's doing some of the stuff that we're doing in-house, that's an unfair advantage because they have access to that platform that we don't have access to. So for you, in the insurance side, you just kind of see like what's unique and different to these other offices. What are they doing that you're not doing right now? And that's the start of discovering what the unfair advantage is, and then seeing if you can copy it or replicate it in any way without infringing on a trademark or infringing on a copyright. And then you'll be able to execute that and do something very similar. And a lot of times you see that all the time. I mean, social media platforms do it all the time. Facebook couldn't purchase other platforms, so they just created the same exact thing that the other platforms had before.
Okay.
The absolute silence, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Let's start with that.
Yeah, any other questions? Michelle, you always have questions. Come on.
I know, I'm just trying to take it all in. It's like, there may be questions later. It's like, oh my gosh, because you gave us so much information, and the brain is now looking at each of those little squares and it's like, okay, how am I filling that in today? Like where getting to that point and getting that document and filling it out and then seeing what you're missing, I think is a great thing. It's like, oh my gosh, mind blown.
It's a good thing. I don't want you guys to be nervous with it, like as far as information overload. I mean, again, that's why they're broken out into segments. So you could, take a day and just focus just on your value proposition. Take a day and just focus on unfair advantage. It's not to say that you need to fill out every single square in the next hour. It's just to understand that these are the variables that if you could figure these out, then things will be a lot easier. And I almost guarantee if you're looking at it right now, you're probably saying, well, shit, I'm missing maybe one or two right off the top of your head.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely an oh shit moment.
And you're gonna allow us send us the link to go through this?
Yeah, I'll send them. I'll put it in the chat right now. So
Yeah, it looks good. I'd like to work through it. I'll probably have some questions after I work through it, but it's not gonna take me 5 minutes.
So the document, I just sent you guys access to the Google Doc, and all the links that I'm talking about are in the Google Doc itself. So it's set up like an ebook. So the video, the 45-minute video where is a podcast episode that I really go into a little bit more details is right here. Let me scroll down to the bottom, and then these two links. So this is the case study that I'm showing you guys, and you want to fill out the form, you can. And then if you click on this link, this will give you an actual PDF downloadable printable document with instructions and without instructions, so you have a clean version as well.
Awesome.
Cool. That's that thing. That was under 15 minutes, right?
That was fine. That's perfect. You can keep going if you want.
Well, I mean, that's why I like to leave room for Q&A, because timing is never my issue. Is always it's always like the silent pause afterwards. Is like I always get the what the fuck, and then it's kind of like the silent pause.
Hey, I got a question for you, SA.
Yeah.
Do you do these kind of things for large groups or like small companies, large companies? Do you do these kind of educational events?
Yeah, I definitely do. So I mean, that's part of like I've also had, I didn't mention it, but I have Boss Uncaged Academy as well too, because that's the reason why I'm the education chair of the Atlanta chapter, because really what I'm doing is educating other people. And I have two systems. One is I can educate you, this is how you do it, or I can train your team on how to do it, or you could hire us to do it for you. That's my platform. So to answer your question, yeah, I mean, I love speaking to, groups of people I like seeing the deer in the headlights and then seeing them take action on what I just said.
Very cool.
Hey, as far as the analytics of, if you're doing marketing, say let's Facebook marketing, how do you, I mean, I can get a lot of people to see what I'm doing content wise, right? With money. But that's about it, right? If I don't put in $50, $100 to an ad, then it's just going to go in the normal channels and just see, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 views, right? But if I push a little bit of money into it, then sort of it's got legs. How do you determine what's are you just throwing money away, or does it actually come back for you in business?
There's multiple strategies to that. I mean, unfortunately, Facebook is a pay-to-play platform. So a lot of times it's a long-term play, right? You're paying to bring people into your ecosystem, but then you want to own your list. Like that's where the real money is when it comes to marketing. Hence why I have a podcast. Like on my podcast right now, we're downloading somewhere between 10 to 20,000 downloads per month. So my goal is to take those people that I'm not paying for and convert them into clients or convert them into my op list. So that way I don't have to pay for those Facebook ads. But if you are paying for Facebook ads, the goal would be lead magnets. You want to give them something that way you can capture the email address. The faster you can get their email address, the more benefit you're going to have versus just paying for those ads to send them to convert. If you're sending them to make a purchase, you're losing them. So if you're sending them for something free, you're more inclined to get that higher conversion and then try to upsell or cross sell after that fact. But the goal is you want to get that database as big as possible, as fast as possible.
And the best way to do, you want to do it naturally, right?
There's different methods.
Have you heard of that? I mean, because there's all these, I get these, these whack-a-moles that email me and they say, hey, for $50, you can buy this many viewers, or for $100, you can buy this many followers or likes or whatever. And I know it's a VA type of thing. I get it, but it doesn't seem like, I don't know. It just seems like a messy situation if you do that. It's like you're using steroids in baseball, right? It's like, it's all right. You got your numbers, but that's not real. You bought them.
Well, think about the numbers. The numbers don't make you money, right? Unless that you're trying to prove your concept. So prime example, I can create a brand new brand. And to your point, I can buy 10,000 followers, viewers, or whatever. If I do that on Instagram, well, then it's going to allow me to then convert to where I can put links in my stories. So that's a reason why you'd want to do that, is to be able to actually have that link opportunity in your actual stories. But it's not necessarily you're converting that 10,000. So then when somebody else comes into your group or somebody else sees, because a lot of times you'll say, hey, here's my Instagram profile. The first thing everyone does, they'll go look to see how many followers you have. So it's kind of like a mind game. It's a chess game. You're trying to say, okay, I'm proficient in what I do. I'm an expert in my area of expertise, but then somebody comes into play and they're going to try to verify it, like your resume, and look at your profile. But if you're just starting out, then you're not going to have 1 million followers. So if you put the fluff, then you can actually on the back end convert. So that's what you're talking about. Like that's one opportunity to utilize that, but that needs to be streamlined. You just can't put 100 million people into a social media platform and not have real people coming in to verify that you actually have people, if that makes sense.
So are there reputable like companies that you know for sure that do that, or like, because like I'm always wary of like those kinds of messages and emails that I get that Alex is talking about, because I'm like, who knows if this is like a scam or if this is just a person that's trying to, get some quick cash.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't come across as a legitimate business plan with your fucking highlighted text and your sparkly, whatever. Never mind. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking up the company right now. It's called Fan something. Fan. I'll look it up and send it to you guys. They actually had a Netflix special. And it was about, they did a kind of 4 different people, and they brought them from like, I think 5,000 followers to a couple million followers. And they talked about that platform on that Netflix original. So they're pretty straightforward, But again, they'll get you the numbers. They're not going to get you bounced out from the platforms. But the problem with those numbers is that they'll fluctuate. They'll get you 5,000, but then that 5,000 will start to drop because again, some of them may be real, some of them may not be real, right? So then you have to buy more to make sure you stay over that threshold that you're trying to stay at. But I'll find the link and I'll send it to you guys.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Awesome. Any other questions? No. All right. Well, SA, thank you so much again for joining us. You are always a wealth of knowledge. I really appreciate you coming in. It gave everyone, I think, a bunch of things to think about for their business. Guys, if you have any questions, please reach out to SA. Definitely have a virtual coffee with him. He'll help you out with a lot of your needs and kind of help you give you some new perspectives on your business. What we will do now, we have about 14 minutes left. Let's go into wins for the week, referrals, anything like that. I know I had, as a matter of fact, I think I had 3 referrals this past week. Michelle, I connected you with my friend Janine. Hopefully you got a hold of her. Les, I got at least 1 roof and might be paying off his kid's braces with someone else. What started off as a roofing conversation went totally sideways, and he's got a whole bunch of projects for him. So hopefully that works out. Hopefully you were able to connect. Anyone else have any referrals they want to pass out or any big news business-wise for you?
Yeah, I'll say Eduardo's been doing an awesome job doing a small job for me, and he's really good at getting back to me on questions and so on.
Thank you for the referral, Taylor.
It's easy to refer yourself.
Yeah.
I'll say a thank you to Tony too. I'm still trying to work with that guy you sent me, but I appreciate it.
Anytime, man.
I am looking for something, and maybe you guys, anyone knows, I'm kicking around hiring either a new salesperson or someone a little more customer servicey / virtual assistant. So if you know of anyone that is looking for positions, pass them my way. I can kind of see what I want to do, but wanted to go to you guys first before I go to some other avenues. So if anyone you know is looking for positions, let me know. Anyone else?
When you guys do the spot, is it like a request of what you're looking for? Like, what's the spot?
It can be a request for what you're looking for. It can be if you have a referral for someone, you can pass it along here, or just, what big successes have you had for the week, just to kind of keep everyone engaged with everyone's business, know what's going on, things like that.
Gotcha. So on my end,
Well, if they have a,
Go ahead.
oh, good, go ahead.
I would say if I'm looking for anyone, I'm always looking for new students for my academy. So, I mean, obviously the entrepreneur, the business owner that's looking for opportunities to comprehend the things that we're talking about today, or just general social media stuff and just marketing, and they want a better leg up on that, then definitely send them my direction.
Okay.
I had a couple of big things wrap up. I did a major project for the Dallas Sidekicks. It's our professional indoor soccer team here in the DFW Metroplex, which is super cool. Did a lot of print stuff for them, and then also I did their their wall wrap graphics for their headquarters. So that was cool. And then I can't talk about exactly what it is yet, but I also finished another big project that's going to be hopefully launched here pretty soon. So,
oh, you can't tease us like that. Come on.
Just give us a hint.
when
Ryan's in the new
when I get
Avengers movie.
Yeah.
I am an Eternal, so go see that in
Fantastic.
theaters. Yeah, you'll see me in one of the post credit scenes.
There we go.
Can't wait.
I also apparently now have a growth on me. That's
Did you name it?
yeah, this is Shuri.
Oh, fair. That kind of growth. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since everyone is here, well, I think almost all of our members are here. I was gonna throw out a date possibly for our next happy hour. This one will be in Fort Worth for those on the other side of the tracks. Let me see here. So today's the 10th. Is anyone free? Oh, that's the week of Thanksgiving. Never mind.
Let's do it. I don't want to see my family. Not a good bunch.
Not a
People.
good How about the second week of December? December the 8th. Does that work?
That should be good for the 8th. Yeah.
All right. So pencil
Put
it
it in the books.
Oh, good.
Put it in the books.
All right, December
Do
the
it.
8th. Same sort of setup, 5:30. Taylor has recommended the Petroleum Club where he is a member. Taylor, you want to tell everyone about that?
Uh-oh. Okay.
It's fancy.
So if we go up to the Petroleum Club, it's downtown Fort Worth. It's the 40th floor, one of those buildings. It's a sweet view.
What is this, an eyes wide shut party?
I don't know what that is, but if you're recommending it,
There's definitely a bowl that you have to put your keys in for the.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, do
no,
I have
no,
to
no.
wear one of those masks?
Taylor, you
Hold
need
on
to
a
know what that
stick.
is before you just start commenting.
yeah. so this place is it's business casual or nicer, but the only ask I have of the group that whoever does come is just kind of spot me some of the money because it goes on my tab no matter what. So don't go crazy with it. If everybody pays like
for everybody, nothing.
if everybody pays like $3 per drink, then I'm happy. It'll subsidize it pretty well.
I don't know. I can drink a lot of tequila.
That's okay. I'd like to see that.
Nope, not quite sure you do.
I was gonna say, Sarah.
$3 a drink. I'm all in.
Me and Les are getting carried out at the end of the night.
Oh yeah.
Les, you might want to bring
That's worth the money.
your lovely wife to escort you out just to make sure that you don't.
Well, she'll probably be next door at the Fort Worth Club. So
Yeah.
All right. So
It's a lot of fun, though.
December the 8th, Petroleum Club, 5:30. Be there, bring a guest, bring two guests. But let's try to grow the group, use this to our advantage.
you bring a guest, charge them $6 a drink.
Yeah, charge a guest.
Yeah.
Let Taylor make a profit on this.
Yeah.
Since we still have about 7 minutes, what we'll do is we'll go around the room, say what you liked most about the meeting, any thoughts, things like that. Mr. Harris. Harris, sorry, we have two Mr. Harris. I keep forgetting. And you're up first.
Who's up first?
You are.
Oh, cool.
Whatever, man.
No, today's was good. I love to see the growth in the group. It's been awesome to just see this group continue to grow, and man, it's a good time every time we're on here. And having it grow makes that a good time. So.
Perfect. Brian Price.
Always a pleasure to see SA. I know the content that you provide is always really insightful, and I'm always looking forward to learning more. Also, to echo Anthony's point, it was great to see like almost everybody in here. I think this is probably the first time in a long time that we've had like almost all of us, and especially now that we have a couple of new members. So I am stoked.
Awesome. Tony.
Yeah, as being a freshman to this group, I love all the information. I'm learning as I go, and thank you guys for all the info. I say thank you.
As a freshman, there's still some hazing rituals you need to go through, but we can discuss those.
As long as there's tequila involved, I'm good.
Miss Kerrigan.
I hope that Tony is newer than me, so I don't have to go through any more of the hazing. I'm beyond that.
You're just light hazing at this point. He's the heavy duty stuff.
Oh, good. Well, I say thank you so much for taking the time to come on and talk to us. Definitely got the wheels turning. Yeah, I'm definitely missing some of those pieces. So I look forward to going through and really breaking each piece down and analyzing it myself for my business. And I'm happy to be a part of this group. I appreciate being here and enjoying everyone. I do have to say, Sarah and Michelle, I hope that you are at the next happy hour, or I'm going to have to bring my own friends. I'm just glad we weren't discussing sports the whole time, or, something very inappropriate, being a table full of guys. So
Group inappropriate, never. We would never do.
thank you for a nice happy hour.
Alex?
Yeah, no, I mean, essay, obviously, a lot of useful information. And I'll check out that podcast. It's hard to keep people entertained and engaged. So it's good to know that you actually have something that is, have some substance to it that people actually do want to listen to. Or you could just have a lot of friends and you ask them to put it on mute and get the numbers going. I've done that before. It doesn't work. Yeah, love being in the group. This is always great. I'll see you at the next happy hour. I'll wear my mask on my eyes. So, yeah.
Les.
All right. Now, I like to see how big this group is growing. It's really nice. Been here since the beginning, and now it's starting to really turn into something. So it's a lot of fun, and I liked our education piece today. I actually, I don't know much about marketing, but just even in that little bitty piece of small education was a lot of stuff that I didn't even know existed. So I'm definitely going to go through a lot of this and try to utilize some of it. It was good. Today was real good.
Awesome. Taylor.
What are we doing?
Way to pay attention to what everyone else is doing. What did you enjoy about today? Any thoughts about the group or anything like that?
Like everyone said everything. I appreciate everybody being here and continue telling me what referrals and virtual copies you have throughout the weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Eduardo.
SA, thank you for your time. That was a good presentation you put on, and I'm gonna take some time to look at it. And then as far as being part of the group, it's good to be part of a group where everybody's motivated to grow their business. The mindset's the same, so it's typically always positive. So yeah, I like being, let's say, part of a group like that.
Thank you. Well said. Sarah.
I will agree with Anthony and Les. It's really great to see this group grow. I think us three were like the originals. It's awesome. I really agree. I really enjoyed that educational stuff. I mean, like everyone else said, it makes you really look at what you're doing, and then might be hitting you up soon to get a better marketing plan. But no, I really appreciate everyone just chatting, and that we've got a really great group. And I apologize, I couldn't make it to the outing. China's screwing me right now. So anyways, moving right along. But yeah, love this group.
Awesome. Essay, any parting words as our visitor?
First of all, I appreciate you guys having me again for a second go round. It's always a pleasure to come onto a team full of badasses that is willing to take the information and take action on it.
Thank you. I just want to say I did not come to this group meaning to be the president, but I'm very happy that I did it. I have a chance to meet all of you and work with you guys to help grow each other's business. This is by far the best networking environment I've ever been in. And I've been in a lot over the past 20 years. But yeah, SA by far the best speaker that I think we've had. I think we can all agree on that. Every time you come, you give us some new information that we can use. I'm definitely going to take a look at that worksheet and that YouTube video to see what I can do to help and improve my business. So thank you so much again, and we'll look to have you again in the future.
Cool, man. I appreciate it.
All right, and with that, we are at 9:30. So it is the business day. You all need to go out and make some money. So I'm going to leave you with this quote from the late Colin Powell. There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. So go out there, do the hard work, be prepared to do the hard work, and don't be scared to mess up and fail, because you only get better and you learn from those mistakes. So go out there. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Get your virtual coffees. Do a virtual coffee with SA if you haven't. He'll probably expand more on what he went over today, but that's it. I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Everyone.